Good to see you. This is the video of Vanbuild Series 6. Vanbuild Series 5 was my bucket sink, where I drilled my very first hole in the bottom of the van and hooked a pipe to it and a bucket and a sink on top of it, and that's what I'm using for temporary as a sink during construction here. Now the beginning and the end, I think, of Vanbuild Series 4, my roof rack, both of those are in the playlist. And you should be able to find those. If you haven't seen those yet, you should watch those. So at the end of my roof rack video, I mentioned that something came up and I'm gonna have to pull off of doing the roof rack. I can't get the solar up and the batteries up yet and the power up yet because there's something came up. And you would think that something that came up was my bucket sink, but no. The bucket sink I just did in about 4 hours in the parking lot of the hardware store and just got it done in one day. The thing that came up was I'm not allowed to build at my storage unit. I lost my place where I can build that. So I have been in the process of finding a place to build, and I found one. This is the place where I'm going to build now. So I've got a new place to build where I can pull my van inside, 12 feet wide, 40 feet deep, and 15 feet tall. It's tall enough that I can bring the van inside and close the door and still have room to work. So that's where I'm going to be doing the rest of the build. Also, I need to put heat in this van. This van is very cold. It's wintertime. I'm living in the van, just me and Cubby, and there's no insulation at all. And it's very cold. And it's just the beginning of December. It's just starting to get cold. It's going to get colder. So I made an appointment with a van build place here in Olympia, Washington, and they said they can do it at the end of the month. And I was like, oh gosh, end of December, that's going to be pretty late. Okay, well, I got 4 weeks to make it through till December till I can get my heat, I guess. Well, they had just called me on a Wednesday because they said my appointment was the following Monday, which is the end of November. Well, yay, I get my heat a month early, but I'm not ready. I've been working on the roof. I haven't been working on the floor. I've been working on the roof. So I have, Wednesday was the phone call. I have Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday's my appointment at 8 a.m. And they should have it done in one day, they said, but it's got to be ready. Ready meaning I should have the floor ready to go. I don't want to have to put the heat in and then take the heat out so I can put the floor in and then put the heat back in. So I got 4 days to put the floor in before the heat comes to this fan. I have no design, I have no parts, it's not even painted yet. And the van is full of everything that I'm using to live inside the van, so I'm gonna have to empty the whole van out. That's what this video is gonna be about. Day one of doing the floor. Let's see what we can get done. So today we gotta go up north and we gotta go to Olympia. We're gonna have to get ready to do the floor. We're gonna have to put the roof on hold. We gotta order some parts for it anyway. Pull everything out, paint it, then build it. And no glue, no nothing, no nails, no nothing. But drill my pocket holes, get everything ready to go. Then put it back, then take it apart, then glue it, and then put it back together with the glue. Stuff ready to drive. It's getting warm in here. I wonder how warm it is. We're up to 65. We're up to 65 already. That's good. It was 36. So the reason we got to move everything around, we got to start on the floor, is I thought my heater was going to get installed at the end of December. On December 30th, I thought. Well, it's not. It's getting started on the end of November. November 30th. So I'm a month ahead. Which I didn't realize. Which is fine. I'd rather have my heater now instead of later. It'd be much better. Then I wouldn't have to go down here. Then I could stay up in Olympia. Stay up there and work up there. Which is really what I want to do. Is work up there. This way I can stop wherever and sleep and do whatever, but I can stay in here overnight. It's really difficult for Cubby because it's so cold for him. It's so cold. I've got a coat coming for him, but it won't be here till in December. The beginning of December it'll be here. These are my work pants. 2 different pants. You can always tell what I'm doing. I'm wearing blue. I'm playing. Today's going to be a working day. I've already got the glue and stuff. I've got everything to glue it down with. I need to figure out how thick insulation I'm going to do, and I think I'm going to do it pretty thick. I think I'm going to do probably 1.5 inches. And then my furring strips are going to be 1.5 inches. And I think I'm going to just leave a gap underneath. I'm going to use foam board insulation. And then we'll get some spray foam to spray the edges. I don't think we want it to go through the insulation and through everything unless he's got a sleeve, unless he's got a collar for it. Which he might have one. He might have something to go through there, which would be fine. I'll have to double check and see. I told him I was going to mount it on 3/4 inch plywood, which I probably will. That way it can attach to something. I'd like to just do the whole floor. And insulate the whole floor and mount it on there, but I don't think the heater can go on that insulation. I think you have to have a collar to go through it. I'm not sure if he has the collar. But that means I got to lay out everything. That means I got to lay out where the cabinets are, especially over here. And not everything, just this side, because it's going to go right behind the driver's seat. I want to see how tall that refrigerator is. The refrigerator, I think, is, you know, the size of an ice chest, a little bit taller than an ice chest, probably. But I got to put it up on a pedestal if I do that. If I put it up above, if I put that refrigerator there and then raise it up, then my bench is going to be raised up because I'm going to have cushions on it too. So I'm going to have heater, refrigerator, ice chest, refrigerator, and then the cushions. So I mean, my bench should be up, you know, this high, and I don't know if I want it up that high. And I bet I could just call him and find out how he wants to do it. My window shades came in the other day. Got my window shades. Those are nice. I got shades for the side windows and the front window, and I got another shade for the fan, which is going to go right here. I'm not going to have a brown tank. They call it a black tank. I'm not having a brown tank. I'm not having a black tank. I'm just going to have a gray tank because black water is harder to find a place to do it, to dump it. So I just use public toilets. If I can, like a McDonald's or something like that, wherever I'm at. Home Depot mostly. Works good. It seems that I don't go to coffee shops. Most people go to coffee, get coffee every morning, and they go take a crap every morning. Not me. I go to Home Depot every morning. I do have a potty in here for emergencies, but I don't use it very often. Most of the time I just use public toilets. Should add up how many, count up how many furring strips I'm going to need. The plywood is the same size as the insulation. So if I need 3 pieces of plywood, I'm probably going to need at least 3 pieces of insulation. Maybe I can get 4. I'm going to insulate the walls the same way with foam board insulation. So if I have any extra for the floor, I can just use it on the walls. But I'd hate to run out. I'd hate to have, you know, not enough. This is what it's good for. Just stuff like this, rinsing off. We are almost ready for the road. Okay, let's move you up front. Nice. How cool. Nice. He just texted me again right there. He answered me. It says we can make it work with whatever you want. We'll figure it out when you drop it off. That's awesome. He's a great dude. I could do my heater myself, but I don't want to mess with the gas tank, so I'm going to have him do the gas tank part, do the whole heater and everything, because it's going to be mounted to the gas tank. That way I don't have to mess with it. I can plug the heater into my power station because I'm going to have a power station in here, and I'll just plug it into there. So either I'm going to have a 36 counter or a 42 counter. Not sure which one for the lower counter space, because that'll put the countertop way up here, be about that height, which wouldn't be too bad, but I'd rather have it down lower. The bed's going to come out to here. That's a 62 inch. If I don't squish it at all, it's either 60 or 62. 60 or 60 if I put it to here, or if I put it to here. The bed's going to be 27 inches off the ground, and then the bed itself is 14 inches. Then there's going to be free air from here up above. And I came down 2 inches down from the ceiling rib, from the rib, and that puts the top of the bed here. And then I went 40 inches down, which means the beds can be 27 inches underneath. It's 42.5 inches from the back wall to the wheel well. So if I go here, here, or here, these are my three measurements: 69, 74.5, or 76.5. Those are my three measurements. These need to come off. Have to use these bolts. One here, one here, one here, one here, and then there's two more up front. So there's 6 of them that need to come out. Cardboard. Well, that's going to be it, I think. Day 1 is going to be a part 1 to part 2. Part 1 was just, most of it was figuring out what was going on and switching gears, basically, and getting ready to do the floor. So we did get the van all cleaned out, and we got it vacuumed. We got the rugs out of there. We got the D-rings off. And part 2 is going to be the cardboard template. So tune back in for the next one, for part 2. Be sure and turn on notifications. That way you know when the next video is coming up. And like and subscribe, tell your friends, share the videos. You can comment down below. Give it a big thumbs up if you like it. All that stuff. Anything you do with our channel helps me and Cubby out. And until next time, thank you for listening.